Hey, Panda, so what guest release for the Controvert Podcast? What's going on here? I mean, do you want my social security number? Or, my driver's license number? What is this? I haven't even filled out my taxes this year. What's going on here, buddy? No, I'm being serious. Guest release, huh? Are you gonna release me somewhere or shit?
All right. All right, dude, like you watched the Controvert Podcast before, right? I mean, you watched a couple episodes, you told me.
I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
So people come on this podcast and then they don't think it's going to be this serious. So
okay.
It's actually really serious. Why is that? Because we've had crazy motherfucking guests that come on and they're like, "Oh, why do I have to sign this?" And then afterwards, it's like the video gets released. Then they're all like, "Oh, you know what? I don't like when I said this. I'm very regretful. Can you take that part out?" And I'm like, "What the hell?" And then you made a key point like before, right? You talked about like why even come on a podcast? Like, what did you say?
Well, I just don't see any point in coming on a podcast if you're not going to share your thoughts and regret what you're going to say on a podcast.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I guess give us some context as to what these people are talking about per se.
Yeah, dude. So it's not really like what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. That's the problem, is that they talk about these things that they often regret and they think that it's inappropriate, that's their past history, and they're like, "Oh, it's a little bit too personal, blah blah blah." And we, for example, you guys could watch like the podcast before. There's like some podcast with like some girl, she's talking about her past history with a guy, or she's talking even about her current guy that she's dating. She's like, "Oh yeah, that's why I don't think I should be with him." On a fucking podcast, you're fucking degrading your man.
Wow.
On a podcast that you're currently seeing. And then he watched that and then he was like, "What the fuck? Yo, I don't think I could be with you anymore." And then she got all like sad and she's all like emotional, like, "Oh my God, I said something that I shouldn't have said." It's like, bro, you should have some common sense before you come on a podcast. So that's why we created this release form. We created like rules. We wrote so much stuff because all these people, they come on and they're so regretful what they say. I'm like, what the fuck? Why do you come on a podcast if you can't control what you're saying, you know? I'm like, what the hell is... Yeah, dude.
Wait, so I'm assuming they're broken up now.
Yeah, they are.
Over this podcast.
Yeah.
That's pretty legendary. I mean, think about it. Think about it. A woman goes on a podcast, talks trash about the guy she's currently dating, and they break up over it, which, wow, I mean, pretty impressive stuff right there, Panda. Pretty impressive stuff.
Well, I guess that's why I want to go back to this point, man. Like, even the main point of this video that I'm trying to say, dude, is we have clickbait stuff. We have clickbait titles. It doesn't necessarily correlate with what is actually going on. For example, we had fuck boys versus fuck girls. And then one of the girls, she has a boyfriend and she's super loyal. But I just put fuck girls. Why did I put that? Because it looks so awkward if I put fuck boys and one fuck girl. It's like so weird. It's like the weirdest shit. Like, I'm going to put fuck girl. Yeah. So, I mean, she didn't really bicker too much, but she's really chill. She's a really chill girl. But the other ones, it's like things they said. There's also this other one where it's like trad wife, and then it's an arrow pointing at a girl, and she's like, "Well, I'm not a trad wife." I'm like, dude, it's a very competitive environment. That's why we have to do clickbaity stuff. You can't just have like a thumbnail that's just a picture of someone and then just expect it to blow up when you're nobody.
Exactly. So, just out of curiosity, Panda, what made you start this podcast? Because I know you used to do prank videos, which guys, if you guys haven't seen the prank videos, those are on a whole other universe. But you converted to the Controvert Podcast. So what was the inspiration kind of?
Yeah, I'll give a little bit backstory of that. Pranks, obviously, you know, we fucked around when we were kids, like high school, and that became something I really loved to do, dude. Like, what if I could make that into a whole project and make money out of it? So then that's what I was thinking. And then in addition to that, I started going down this path of just like doing pranks and like fucking around. But at the same time, people started thinking that this is all I do. Like, I just know how to fuck around. And they didn't think I could be serious. So I was like, you know what? This is not really something I want to do. It's fun.
Yeah.
But at the end of it all, you get criticized. You get judged a lot. And it's like, yeah, fuck all the haters and all that. But it's still a part of me wanted to do something more deeper, make a change in the world. So that's a little bit about that, man. But like back to the clickbait shit, dude. Yeah, man. I mean, we have a lot of crazy people that come on. I'm not gonna say who, but a lot of crazy motherfuckers that they come on and then they're just like regretting all the stuff they say. I'm like, why do you even come on and say these things? Like, why don't you think twice? Learn to control your tongue before you say things. Like, why would you come on a podcast and degrade your man and say all these things that are not good about the current guy you're dating? Maybe the past guy you're dating, but what about the current guy? You got to give us some respect, you know? So a lot of people, they come on these podcasts, like whatever podcasts, and they're always like super regretful and they get hella backlash. I'm like, why'd you even come on then? And then you see them deactivate their fucking profile. And I'm like, what was the point?
Yeah.
You know? Like, you got to have self-awareness. Like, why even come on? And then you're just like, oh, can you take off the video? Can you take off my Instagram? And then you end up deactivating your shit.
No, I get it. It makes complete sense. And no, that's a story that is something else. That's something else.
Yeah.
Sheesh, man. Well, now I know. And, you know, a lawsuit might be coming your way if I say anything on here that, you know.
Yeah, you could try, bro. That's just not gonna work. That's not even without the waiver, it's not gonna stick, dude. I think that's what these girls don't understand, that, you know?
Yeah, of course.
And I'm like, what are you trying to accomplish? Trying to get money out of me when this shit's not even funded yet. So, I mean, because we're not funded, that's more of a reason for you to subscribe and like this video.
And follow Panda on Instagram.
No, don't follow my private Instagram, bro. Just follow Controvert Podcast.
That's right. Follow Controvert Podcast on IG. There you go. How long was that?
That was like 7 minutes.
No, you do need to cut it, actually.
Yeah,
you do need to cut it. Do you think like whatever podcast they also cut it? No, huh?
No, they don't cut it.
But
that's why it's so long.
But it's hard though. That's hard.
No, but it's whack though. They have so many people talking at one time.
Yeah, dude, it's whack. It's a shitty ass podcast.
It's cool. I mean, it's got drama. That's the only thing. But it's the same thing over and over again.
That's what I was saying.
I mean, he asks the same things all the time. It's just always like, oh, so what's your body count?
Yeah.
So what do you think?
What do you think about OnlyFans? It's like,
should men pay for dates?
It's like,
I mean, yeah, we had a couple like should men pay for dates on this podcast, but we didn't do that all the time. It's not always like the same thing. But the thing about whatever podcast is because they're always having like these dumbass girls come on.
Yeah.
And then it keeps it so enticing. It's like people love degeneracy. They're just like, oh, I want to see this dumbass shit. You know, I love Kim Kardashian. I love looking at this stupid ass like drama.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck,